How does coronavirus spread? Coronavirus most commonly spreads from an infected person to others through 1. The air, by coughing or sneezing. 2. Touching a contaminated surface or object manned. Then touching your mouth, nose or eyes. 3. Close personal contact, such as touching or shaking hands. 4. Rarely, fecal contamination. What are signs and symptoms of coronavirus? 1. Fever. 2. Sore throat. 3. Difficulty breathing. 4. Dry cough. How can I protect myself? 1. Wash your hands thoroughly and often with soap and water at least 20 seconds. 2. Avoid touching your eyes, nose or mouth with unwashed hands. 3. Avoid close contact with people who are sick.
Welcome to ASportsZones, hub to sports world news, update on motorsports world. Now it's 86 victories and leading the world championship for Lewis Hamilton, along with his 90th pole position underpinned with fastest lap on his final tour. The incredible pace of the Mercedes-Benz ensures many other drivers had their season's ambitions and hopes thoroughly realigned in Budapest, and not in a good way. I've never seen an F1 car stick to the track like that, especially in challenging corners like Hungary's turns 4 and 11, arrive and drive, a couple of gears higher than you'd ever imagine, and barely a lift of the throttle, and seemingly never needing to counter-steer into any significant slide. We should of course be celebrating the excellence of this team creating such a device which is so fit for purpose, but my heart sinks a little. Please subscribe in our YouTube channel and follow and like us on Facebook #ASportsZones. Visit our site at www.asportszones.com for more sports update. The fact that they are a barely believable 10 seconds per lap faster than their own dominant cars from the early hybrid era just 6 years ago can only really be fully appreciated from this side of the track, or behind the wheel. Ferrari have given up a lot of power and straight line speed due to tightening of the regulations, and Red Bull appear to have stepped on their own tail with aero set up, hopefully temporarily. Observing Ferrari sitting 5th in the Constructors' Championship is just painful. I don't have a great deal of sympathy for them as I feel misled by their performances last year when they were clearly pushing the regulations way too hard, at the same time as we cheered hard and celebrated to finally have a serious challenger for Mercedes, and given this is largely their 2021 package too, albeit with a few tokens available to improve performance like everybody else, then it's likely to be a while before they are at the front again. They were lapped last year here too, but it was still a powerful image when Seb Vettel had to move his Ferrari to one side heading up to turn 4 in order to be lapped by Hamilton. Mind you, if Lewis hadn't pitted for fresh tires to steal the fastest lap world championship point, he'd have lapped everyone apart from his teammate Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Max had a wild moment going to the grid, and then actually properly crashed in turn 12 when locking up his brakes on a wet track, breaking the left track rod and suspension push rod. Miraculously he got it to the grid and, with less than 30 seconds to spare, the team impressively repaired the car. Normally a team would spend a considerable amount of time setting up corner, or cross, weights, ride heights, and other geometry of the car. The replacement parts would be manufactured to precise tolerances and any shims would have been reused on the grid. But nevertheless it's impressive that he could describe the handling as like brand new in the Park Firm interview post-race. To split the Mercedes was a sensational effort from Max. Notwithstanding Bottas having a jumpy start and falling back, only Verstappen's prodigious talent and determination can trouble Mercedes in the draw right now. Valtteri was pretty downbeat in the post-race interview. He'd been outpaced again by Lewis for a second consecutive weekend and had lost the championship lead. As I know well, there's always a Hamilton, Senna, or Schumacher or such like around to spoil your day. He somehow needs to get into Lewis's head at Silverstone. Superimposing the latest Mercedes performance onto a track like Silverstone is bordering on scary. It will simply be immense around the theater of speed. Racing Point dominated the second row of the grid to every team's consternation except for Mercedes, their trade supplier of motors, gearboxes, suspension and items such as brake ducts. In 2019, which are under protest yet again by the Renault team. It has to be Renault because Red Bull might be nervous about some hand-me-downs to sister team AlphaTauri. The same with Haas at Ferrari. Williams have a Merc engine and McLaren will be similarly powdered next year. Diplomacy might be sacrificed, however, if Racing Point start to really fulfill their potential. Lance Stroll had a cracking weekend in his Racing Point, carrying even more speed than the Merc boys in a couple of corners in qualifying, and bringing it home fourth. A good reminder that cloning the all-dominant 2019 Mercedes is fine for a decent lap time, but it still doesn't make you the works team and drivers. As always, there was some great racing in the midfield. These are wide, long and heavy cars, but the likes of Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz at McLaren, and Charles Leclerc and Seb Vettel at Ferrari, were throwing them around in very close company as if they were toys. Very enjoyable and impressive to watch. Drivers like Daniel Ricciardo at Renault had solid days at the wheel, and it was great to see Alex Albon having the confidence to slide his Red Bull alongside many rivals despite his clashes recently. It was a drive to fifth which should give him a lot of confidence and self-belief, both in his head and in the team. Red Bull seemed very keen for it to work out with Albon. It wasn't the greatest Grand Prix, but I've commentated on worse there, but we did get F1 back on the road these past 3 weekends in fine style, and in a safe and responsible manner. 17 races are planned in total between now and mid-December. Let's see how far we can get. It may well seem a short few months for Mercedes, but much longer for some other teams and drivers. If you have any comments or suggestion, feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe in our YouTube channel and follow and like us on Facebook #ASportsZones. For more sports update, visit our site at www.asportszones.com. Do not forget to click the notification bell.
Be strong and courageous. Do not fear, or be in dread of them. For it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you, or forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6.